The Snaptite Assembly system locks end channels to all sheets without the need for tools or fasteners. To assemble each panel, the perimeter channels are secured to the top and bottom of each sheet. Gently tap the channel over the Snaptite lugs and work your way along the sheet. Each channel should be fit to the center of each sheet. Simply tap the channel along until it's aligned. We're going to join our spliced channels now. Basically, we're just joining a pair of channels together to make a longer one. There are three parts: a left channel, a right channel, and the joiner. Looking at the part numbers, you'll see that the left channel has the letter L and the right channel has the letter R at the end of the part number. There are also printed arrows pointing to the end of the channel that needs to be joined. The joiner, called a CSJ, needs to be put in the right way to match the channel. Make sure that you've got the long sides matched up. Place the CSJ centered on the end and press in as shown until you hear it click. Repeat this with the other side and then make sure that both halves are butted up against one another. Do this for the rest of the spliced channels in the pack before beginning construction. This shed has channels that need to be trimmed. We show which end to trim for each panel as we go, so feel free to do this as required. Take the required channel and measure 16.5 mm from the end specified. You can use tin snips to trim back the channel to the marked length. Let's assemble our ridge beam. To construct the ridge beam for this shed, you'll need one ridge cap joiner, 3 ZASP joiners, 4 97ALR ridge beams. Flip the ridge beam pieces over and make sure you have the ends orientated as pictured. Slide the capping of one under the other and push together until the hat sections are flush. Place the ZASPs into the underside of the ridge beam. Make sure it's in the center of the ridge beam. Once the joiner is in, turn the beam back over. Get a tape and measure out 250 mm from the center, marking every 50 mm on the center of the ridge beam. Do this for both sides. Now we have our holes marked. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the end mark and secure the ridge beam and joiner with a Tek screw. Now that the joiner is held in, drill out the remaining holes and secure with 6 more of the wafer head Tek screws. Repeat these steps for the other spliced ridge beam before proceeding. Now we have both halves of the ridge beam spliced. We need to join them together to make the full span. We need to trim away a piece of each of these ridge beams to join them. Clamp one of the spliced ridge beams so we can work on it safely. Use an angle grinder or hacksaw to trim one end of the ridge beam so it's flush with the capping. Repeat this with the other ridge beam. Take the freshly cut ridge beams and butt both cut ends together. Push the XASP joiner into the underside of the ridge beams, making sure that it's centered between them. You can use a string line to make sure that the ridge beam is straight before you fix it off. Carefully turn the ridge beam over. Remove the plastic covering from both pieces, and the capping. Place the ridge cap joiner over this joint. Centered over this joint, make 8 markings 60 mm apart over the XASP and ridge cap. Take the 3mm drill bit and drill out these marked holes, then secure the 2 beams in the XASP and the ridge cap joiner with 8 of the wafer head tech screws. That completes the ridge beam. Let's make the left roof panel. You're going to have to do this section twice because we need 2 of these panels. To assemble the left roof panel, we'll need one 87A lip, one 60A channel, one 81A channel, and 4 of the 45A sheets. Lay out the 45As so that the sheet-to-sheet holes line up and the row of holes along the edge are all on the same side. Overlap the sheets by 1 rib, then secure with 12 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 60A channel and attach it to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will need to face the outside of the panel. Make sure you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Now take the 81A channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Using the 3mm drill bit, drill out the 2 holes in the underside of the CSJ and bottom channel. Fasten the CSJ and channel using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 87A lip and place it on the left side of the panel, sliding it between the sheets and the channel. Fasten it with 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Now we've got one done, repeat this step to make the second left roof panel. Once you've done this a second time, that will complete your 2 left roof panels. Let's make the right roof panel. To assemble the right roof panel, we'll need one 87A lip, one 60A channel, one 81A channel, and 4 of the 45A sheet. Lay out the 45As so that the sheet-to-sheet holes line up, and the row of holes along the edge are all on the same side. Overlap the sheets by 1 rib, then secure with 12 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 60A channel and attach it to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will need to face the outside of the panel. Make sure you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Now take the 81A channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5mm. Using the 3mm drill bit, drill out the 2 holes in the underside of the CSJ and bottom channel. Fasten the CSJ and channel using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 87A lip and place it on the right side of the panel, sliding it between the sheets and the channel. Fasten it with 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Repeat these steps to make the second right roof panel. Once you've done this twice, you would have completed your 2 right roof panels. Let's do the front left side panel. We'll need one 55B channel, one 81B channel, 3 of the 31A sheets, and one 30A sheet. Lay out the sheets so that the 3 31A sheets are on the left and the 30A sheet is on the right. Make sure all the pre-punched holes line up. Overlap the sheets by 1 rib and then secure the sheets together using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Attach the 55B channel to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will need to face the outside. Make sure you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5 mm. Take the 81B channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5 mm. Using a 3mm drill bit, drill out the two holes in the underside of the CSJ. Fasten together the CSJ and channel using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Do this again for the other end of the panel. That completes the front left side panel. Let's do the front right side panel. We'll need one 55B channel, one 81B channel, 3 of the 31A sheets, and one 30A sheet. Lay out the sheets so that the 3 31A sheets are on the right and the 30A is on the left. Make sure that all of the pre-punched holes line up. Overlap the sheets by 1 rib and then secure the sheets together using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Attach the 55B channel to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will need to face the outside. Make sure you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5 mm. Take the 81B channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. Again, make sure that you've trimmed the end shown by 16.5 mm. Using a 3mm drill bit, drill out the two holes in the underside of the CSJ. Fasten together the CSJ and channel using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Do this again for the other end of the panel. You'll need to use these steps again to make the second panel like this. That's because the left rear panel is exactly the same. Let's construct the right door panel. To make the right door panel, we'll need one 12A door plate, one pad bolt, one 58A channel, one 58B channel, two 58C channels, two 91A jambs, and the door B sheet. To start, note the orientation of the sheet. We have our holes for the door plate on the left. Take the 58B channel and place it over the edge of the sheet which has the holes for the door plate. Use 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to secure this channel to the sheet. Take the 58A channel and place it on the other side of the sheet, making sure that the hinges can extend upwards towards the outside of the door. Use 3 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to fasten this channel to the panel. Take the 58C channel and use the Snaptite method to attach it to the top of the sheet. This channel will go over the top of the sheet and over the front edges of the 58A and 58B channels. Use a 10mm self-tapping screw in each of the corners. Repeat this process with the other 58C channel, but on the bottom of the sheet. Again, using a 10mm self-tapping screw in each of the corners. Next, we'll attach the door plate and pad bolt. Position the door plate on the pre-punched holes midway up the sheet. Fasten it using a 10mm self-tapping screw. Next, take the pad bolt and position as shown. Fix using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws, and finish off with a final 10mm self-tapping screw. Flip the door panel over. Take one of the 91A jambs and place it over the diagonal row of pre-punched holes, sliding one face into the corner of the panel. Fasten one 10mm self-tapping screw through the sheet and into the jamb. Use 2 10mm self-tapping screws to secure the top corner channels. Use another 10mm self-tapping screw to fasten the other end of the jamb to the sheet. Now do the same for the other 91A jamb, sliding it into the corner and lining it with the pre-punched holes. Secure the end of the jamb and 2 bottom corner channels using 3 10mm self-tapping screws. Use another 10mm self-tapping screw in the other end of the jamb. Flip the door back over and finish securing the braces with 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. This completes our right door panel assembly. Let's do the rear right side panel. To make this panel, we'll need one of the 56A channels, one 56B channel, one 79B channel, one 90B jamb, one 89A jamb, one 89B jamb, one 31A sheet, one 32A sheet, and one 33A sheet. Lay out the sheets in the following order from left to right: 31A, 33A, and then the 32A sheet. Leave a gap for the doorway between the two on the right. Make sure the 33A and 32A sheets have the edge with the short pan facing towards the doorway. Take the 89A jamb and place it over the edge of the 32A sheet to make the doorway. Use 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws in the center holes to secure the jamb to the sheet. Take the 89B jamb and place it over the inside edge of the 33A sheet. Secure the jamb to the sheet using 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Overlap the 31A and 33A sheets by 1 rib, then secure the sheets together with 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 56A channel and attach it to the top of the 32A sheet using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel goes towards the outside. The trimmed end of the 56A channel will go onto the 31A sheet, which will be all the way to the left. Line up the pre-punched hole in the 56A channel with the top hole of the 89A jam. Now attach the 56A channel to the top of the other sheets using the Snaptite method. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the pre-punched holes in the corner of the doorway, then secure with one 10mm self-tapping screw. Repeat the process for the other corner, drilling out the hole, then securing with one 10mm self-tapping screw. Take the 56B channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets. The trimmed end of the 56B channel will be attached to the 31A sheet again. Align the pre-punched holes in the 89A jam and 56B channel as shown. Secure the jam and channel using one of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Drill out the hole in the 89B jam and 79B channel. Secure them together with one 10mm self-tapping screw. Take the 90B jam and slide it into the 56A channel. The doorway jams will slide into the notches of the 90B jam. Use a single 10mm self-tapping screw to secure the jam and channel. Drill out the two holes at the other end and secure with two more of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 79B channel and slide it into the 56B channel at the bottom of the doorway as shown. Secure the channel using a 10mm self-tapping screw in the end. Drill out the other end, then secure with another 10mm self-tapping screw. Flip the panel over to give yourself access to the other side. Drill out the two holes in the 56A channel and CSJ, then secure with two of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Secure either end of the 89B jam using two of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Drill out the two holes in the 56B channel and CSJ, then secure with two 10mm self-tapping screws. Now flip the panel back over and next we'll attach the door. Drill out the 6 holes in the 89A jam using a 3mm drill bit. Lay the single door on the side panel, folding the hinges downward and then lining up with the holes in the jam. Using a pop riveter, secure the door hinges to the side panel using 6 pop rivets. That completes the rear right side panel. Let's get started with the rear panel. We'll need one 81A channel, one 84R channel, one 84L channel, one 15A peak brace, one 36L sheet, one 38L sheet, one 38R sheet, and one 36R sheet. Lay out the sheets in the following order from left to right: 36L, 38L, 38R, and then the 36R sheet. Make sure that the bottom of the sheets are sitting flush and overlapped by one rib. Once orientated, secure the sheets together using 12 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 81A channel and attach it to the bottom of the sheets using the Snaptite method. Fasten 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws into the underside of the channel and into the CSJ. To get good access with the tin snips, remove the topmost screw between the sheets, trim away as shown, and then put the screw back in. Take the 84R channel and attach it to the right sheets using the Snaptite method. Take the 84L channel and attach it to the top of the left sheets using the Snaptite method. Next, we'll attach the 15A peak brace to the apex of the panel. Align it with the holes in the top of the two channels. Fasten using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. This completes the rear wall assembly. Now let's move on to the double doors. To construct the left double door, we'll need 2 pad bolts, one 12A door plate, 2 of the 99B hat sections, one 58A channel, 2 of the 63A channels, 1 of the 89C jam, 2 93B jam, 1 25A sheet, and 1 37A sheet. Lay out the sheets with a 37A sheet on the right. The edge with a narrow pan will be towards the outside. Overlap these sheets by 3 ribs. Along one edge of the sheet overlap, measure in 580mm on the rib. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out a hole through both sheets. Secure these two sheets together using a 10mm self-tapping screw. Do this again from the other side. Repeat these steps on the other end of the sheet overlap, measuring and fixing with 2 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 63A channel and attach it to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will face to the outside. Take the other 63A channel and attach it to the bottom of both sheets. Next, take the 58A channel and attach it to the right side of the sheets. The long side of the channel will go to the outside on this one, and make sure that the hinges are orientated as shown. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the holes in the channel and sheet, then secure with 5 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 89C jam and attach it to the left side of the sheets. Slide it between the channel and the sheets. Once in place, drill out the 5 holes and secure with 5 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 12A door plate and position it halfway up the door on the left side of the sheet as shown. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the 2 end holes, then secure with 2 10mm self-tapping screws. Drill out the 2 front holes and secure, finishing the plate with 4 10mm self-tapping screws. Flip the panel over. Use 2 10mm self-tapping screws to secure the 2 corners of the hinge channel. Take one of the 99B hat sections and place it diagonally across the sheets, sliding the end under the corner channels. Do the same for the other 99B hat section, placing it in the other corner and diagonally across the back of the door. Use a tape measure to measure up and mark 820mm on the edge of the sheet with the jam as shown. Repeat this from the other end of the door so you've got it top and bottom. Line up the inside corner of the 99B hat section with the marking we just made. Use a 3mm drill bit to make holes along the inside face of the hat section against the door. Drill the holes so they line up with the center of each sheet pan. Secure with 1 10mm self-tapping screw. Repeat this for the other end of the hat section, drilling it out in the center of the pan, then securing with a 10mm self-tapping screw. Drill out 6 more holes in the hat section, remembering to place the holes in the center of each sheet pan. Moving on to the other 99B hat section, drill out both ends, then secure with a 10mm self-tapping screw. Drill out the 6 remaining holes in the hat section, lining them up with the center of each pan. Now we'll make our raised pad bolts. Take the two 93B jambs and push them together as shown. Place a pad bolt on top of these jambs, making sure that the end sits flush, then mark out the 4 holes. Take the 3mm drill bit to drill out the 4 marked holes. Place the pad bolt back over the jambs, then secure with 4 10mm self-tapping screws. Repeat these steps to make the second raised pad bolt. Take one of the raised pad bolts and place them on the door as shown. Please note the orientation of the door. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the corner and secure with a 10mm self-tapping screw from the underside. Do this for the remaining corners, securing with 3 more 10mm self-tapping screws from the underside. Repeat these steps at the bottom of the door, attaching the other raised pad bolt on the same sheet pan. Flip the door back over to give yourself access to the holes we drilled in the 99B hat sections earlier. Finish off this door by securing 12 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws into the sheet and 99B hat sections. So that completes our left double door panel. Let's move on to the right door panel. To make the right double door, we'll need one pad bolt, one 12A door plate, two of the 63A channels, one 58B channel, one 58A channel, two 99B hat sections, one 25A sheet, and one 37A sheet. Lay out the sheets with a 37A sheet on the right. The edge with a narrow pan will be towards the outside. Overlap these sheets by 3 ribs. Along one edge of the sheet overlap, measure in 580mm on the rib. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out a hole through both sheets. Secure these two sheets together using a 10mm self-tapping screw. Do this again from the other side. Repeat these steps on the other end of the sheet overlap, measuring and fixing with 2 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 63A channel and attach it to the top of the sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will face to the outside. Take the other 63A channel and attach it to the bottom of both sheets. Next, take the 58A channel and attach it to the right side of the sheets. The long side of the channel will go to the outside on this one, and make sure that the hinges are orientated as shown. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the holes in the channel and sheet, then secure with 5 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 58B channel and attach it to the left side of the sheets. Slide it between the channel and sheets. You'll need to make sure that you've got the long side towards the front of the panel. Once in place, drill out the 5 holes and secure with 5 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 12A door plate and position it halfway up the door on the left side of the sheet as shown. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the 2 end holes, then secure with 2 10mm self-tapping screws. Place the pad bolt over the 4 remaining holes, then secure with 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Flip the panel over. Use 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to secure the corners of the door. Take one of the 99B hat sections, place it diagonally across the sheets, sliding one end under the corner channels and the other end under the 58B channel. Do the same for the other 99B hat section, placing it in the other corner and diagonally across the back of the door. Use a 3mm drill bit to make holes along the inside face of the hat section against the door. Drill the holes so they line up with the center of each sheet pan. Secure with one 10mm self-tapping screw. Repeat this for the other end of the hat section, drilling it out in the center of the pan, then securing with a 10mm self-tapping screw. Drill out 6 more holes in the hat section, remembering to place the holes in the center of each sheet pan. Moving on to the other 99B hat section, drill out both ends, then secure with a 10mm self-tapping screw. Drill out the 6 remaining holes in the hat section, lining them up with the center of each pan. Flip the door back over to give yourself access to the holes we drilled in the 99B hat sections earlier. Finish off this door by securing 12 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws into the sheet and 99B hat sections. That completes the right double door. Let's start the front frame and panel assembly. To construct the front frame, we'll need 8 of the multi-purpose brackets, 1 ridge plate, 1 small triangular plate, and then the following framing pieces: 2 CO100s, 8 KO285s, 2 of the C1785s, 2 of the N1820s, 2 of the C2300s, 2 of the M1484s, and 2 of the CO240. Lay out all the components on the ground. Use the dimensions shown as the guide when constructing the frame to keep it square and the correct distances. Before you start, if you have a rebated slab, you'll need to trim one end of your C1785 and N1820 sections by the height of your slab. We'll start construction at the bottom of the uprights, boxing the CO100 sections and C1785 section. Take the CO100 and join it to the bottom of the C1785 upright as shown. Secure the CO100 to the C1785 using 4 of the wafer head tech screws. Screw 2 into both sides. Place one end of the KO285 over the upright, fitting it so it's sitting flush with the top of the C100 we just attached. Please note the orientation. Secure the KO285 to the upright using 2 wafer head tech screws. Using a tape measure, measure and mark 100mm from the bottom of the N1820. Line up the bottom of the KO285 with the marking, then secure it to the upright using 2 of the wafer head tech screws. From the bottom of the KO285 we just secured, measure up and mark another 415mm. Place the bottom edge of another KO285 on the mark. Repeat the process twice more, marking out the KO85 positions on both uprights. Once marked, proceed to position and secure the KO285 on their markings. Use one wafer head tech screw in either end for now. Using the dimensions shown earlier, check this part for the frame for squareness and then finish securing with a further wafer head tech screw in either end. Place two of the multi-purpose brackets against the uprights as shown. The face with one large hole will face downwards. Secure each of these brackets using 6 of the wafer head tech screws. Repeat all the previous steps to construct the ladder frame on the other side. Moving on to the top of the frame now, take the two C2300 sections and box them together as shown. Secure the sections together with a row of 9 wafer head tech screws equally spaced down the section. Flip the box section over and screw 9 more wafer head tech screws equally along the other side. At one end of the section, place a multi-purpose bracket as shown, then fasten using 4 of the wafer head tech screws. Do this again for the other end, placing the bracket and securing with 4 more of the wafer head tech screws. Take 2 of the CO240 sections and box them together. Fasten them together using 6 of the wafer head tech screws. Secure 3 on either side. Place a multi-purpose bracket on one side of the box section as shown. Secure the bracket with 4 of the wafer head tech screws. Flip this section over and place a bracket on the opposite side and secure with 4 more of the wafer head tech screws. Measure out and mark 1150 mm in from one end. This will give us the midpoint. Take our piece and place it on the side of the C2300 section without the brackets. Align it on the center marking. Once aligned, fasten the bracket to the header beam using 8 of the wafer head tech screws. Moving on to our side ladder frames, from the bottom of the N1820 section, measure up and mark 1750 mm. Do this for both assemblies. Line up the bottom edge of the header beam with the marking, then secure the brackets to the N1820 sections using 4 of the wafer head tech screws. Repeat this process to the other end, lining up the beam and then securing with 4 more of the wafer head tech screws. At the end of the beam, place a multi-purpose bracket as shown, then fasten with 4 wafer head tech screws. Moving on to the top chords now. Take one of the M1484 pieces and place it over the CO240 at the center as shown. Place the other end over the outer upright and in the tabs of the inner upright. Once placed and aligned, secure the M1484 end uprights with 1 wafer head tech screw. Secure the M1484 and inner upright using another wafer head tech screw. Repeat this process for the other side, aligning it and then securing it with 3 of the wafer head tech screws. Take the triangle plate and place it over the intersecting sections at the apex as shown. Once in place, secure it with 8 of the wafer head tech screws. The screws will form a T shape on the plate. Finish securing the sections together using 4 wafer head tech screws. Flip the frame over, check it's square using the dimensions shown earlier, then use wafer head tech screws to secure all the sections together that we did on the other side. Once this is done, take the ridge plate and place it over the intersecting sections at the top as shown. Secure the ridge plate to the sections using 8 wafer head tech screws. This completes the front frame. Moving on to the front panel now, we'll need one 16L and one 16R gable panel, one 77C channel, 2 of the 81M channels, 2 89A jams, one 93R jam, one 93L jam, and a sheet that will give us our 2 93B sheets. Lay the 39B sheet down. The sheet needs to be split. We'll split it by carefully folding it along the perforations until the sheets separate. You'll end up with 2 sheets that look like this. In some cases, these may already be separated, so you won't need to do this step. Lay these 2 narrow 39B sheets side by side with their perforated edges together. Take the 89A jamb and place it along the inside of one of the sheets as shown. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the 2 holes in the centre, then secure the jamb to the sheet with 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the other 89A jamb and place it along the side of the other sheet. Drill out and secure the 2 holes at the centre, then fasten with 2 more of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take both 81M channels and attach them to the bottom of these sheets using the Snaptite method. The short side of the channel will face towards the outside of the sheets. Next, attach the 77C channel to the right sheet using the Snaptite method. Align the outermost hole of the 89A jamb, then use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the holes. Secure the channel and jamb using one 10mm self-tapping screw. Repeat this process on the other side with the left sheet. Drill out the hole, then secure with one 10mm self-tapping screw. Next, take the 93L jamb and slide it into the left side of the 77C channel. Fasten the jamb to the channel using 6 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the holes in the channel and into the CSJ. Secure with 2 10mm self-tapping screws. Take the 93R jamb and slide it into the 77C channel at the top right. Secure the jamb to the channel using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Moving to the bottom of the sheets, use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the hole in the inside corner. Fasten the channel and jamb with a 10mm self-tapping screw. Repeat the process for the other side. Drill out and secure with a 10mm self-tapping screw. Flip the panel over. Take the 16L and 16R gable panels, removing the plastic from them first. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the holes at the centre of the 77C channel. Drill through the channel and into the CSJ. Place the 16R gable panel so the pre-punched holes at the ends are aligned. Secure the gable and channel using a 10mm self-tapping screw. Drill out the hole in the corner of the door frame, then secure with a 10mm self-tapping screw. Use 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws in the pre-punched holes to finish securing the gable to the channel. Repeat the process with the remaining gable panel, aligning it with the pre-punched holes. Starting where the two gables meet, use 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws to secure the gable to the channel, and then the two gables together. Use a further 4 10mm self-tapping screws to secure the gable to the channels. Drill out the corner hole and secure with another 10mm self-tapping screw. This will complete the front panel. Lay out the front frame in the orientation shown, then take the front panel we just completed and place it over the top of it. Use a marker to mark out where each of the KO285 cross members are located. The edges of the panel and frame will sit flush around the door opening. Locate where the cross members of the framing intersect with the middle of the sheet pan. Use a wafer head tech screw in the middle of each pan to secure the panel to the cross member beneath it. Continue to do this along the upright where there is a cross member behind the sheeting. You'll need 14 more wafer head tech screws to complete both sides. Once this is fully fixed off, you would have completed the front panel assembly. We'll start with the left and right roof panels. Make sure you have the correct sheets and that they're orientated so the row of holes are along the edge at the top. Push the two panels together, overlapping them by one rib. Slide the overlapping sheet inside the channel of the other panel. Fasten these two panels together using 3 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Remove the bottom row of screws in the roof panel. This will make it easier for you to slot this into the ridge beam. You'll have to do this again a second time to make the second 6-meter roof panel. Attach the ridge beam to one of the roof panels by sliding the edge of the panel without screws into the ridge beam. Fasten along the underside of the ridge beam and the panel with 9 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. We'll only connect one of the roof panels into the ridge beam now. We'll put the second one on later. Moving on to the right side panel. Place the two panels side by side, making sure that they're up the right way. The channels at the top of these two panels will have holes in the top to fit the roof later. Overlap the two panels by one rib, pushing the two channels so they sit flush together. Fasten these two panels using two of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Moving on to the left side panels now. Get the left and right panels and push them together, overlapping them by one rib. Secure the two panels together using two of the 10mm self-tapping screws. That will complete all of your 6-meter panels. Let's construct the portal frames. We need 2 portal frames, so make sure you go through this section twice. Before getting stuck in, we recommend marking out an outline of the frame on your slab using the following info. To make the portal frame, we'll need 2 of the C1482 and 2 of the C1704 frame sections, 2 knee plates, 2 apex plates, 2 ridge beam plates, and 2 of the multi-purpose brackets. Lay out the portal frame components using the markings and dimensions shown previously as a guide. Take one of the apex plates and place it over the 2 C1482 frame sections. Once in place, secure with 12 wafer head tech screws. Moving to one side, place the knee plate over the C1482 and C1704 frame sections. Secure the knee plate using 7 wafer head tech screws. Use 5 wafer head tech screws to secure along the top of the knee plate. Use 2 wafer head tech screws to secure the upright for the moment. Use 6 wafer head tech screws to secure along the top edge of the apex plate. Align the other frame pieces and place the remaining knee plate over them. Secure the knee plate to the C1482 using 7 wafer head tech screws. Use 5 wafer head tech screws to secure along the top edge of the knee plate. Secure the upright with 2 wafer head tech screws for now. If your shed's being installed onto a rebated slab, measure the height of the rebate. Trim all the legs by this amount. Orientate the multi-purpose bracket as shown and secure to the bottom of the leg with 6 wafer head tech screws. Repeat this step for the other leg and bracket, securing with 6 more wafer head tech screws. Place the ridge plate over the apex plate, making sure that the top faces are flush, and secure with 8 wafer head tech screws. Turn the portal frame over. Place the apex plate over the frame and secure the top with 6 of the wafer head tech screws. Secure through the bottom of both apex plates with 3 of the wafer head tech screws. Again, align the ridge and apex plates, making sure that the top surfaces are flush, and fix using 8 of the wafer head tech screws. That completes one portal frame. We'll need to do this one more time to get 2 portal frames. Let's do the final assembly. We're going to start by standing up the frames. These are the dimensions of the recommended slab size we showed at the beginning of the video. The first frame to go up is the front frame. It will be inset 70mm from the front edge of the recommended slab. Place the frame on the markings and get a friend to help hold it. Mark out the 4 holes for the multi-purpose brackets. Make sure that the opening width is still 2300mm. Move the frame out of the way to give access to the markings for drilling. Use a hammer drill with the masonry drill bit to drill out the marked holes. Make sure the depth is suitable for an M10 Dynabolt. Put the frame back in its previous position. Put the Dynabolt through the hole in the bracket and into the hole in the slab. Knock it all the way in with a hammer or block of wood. Next, use a spanner or a socket to tighten the nuts, making sure they're secured properly. Next will be the portal frames. These are their dimensions relative to the slab and the front frame. Please note that this is to the center line of the framing. Place the first portal frame as per the previous dimensions. Mark out the holes of the multi-purpose bracket. Use the hammer drill and masonry bit to drill out the holes marked for the brackets. Place the frame back over these holes and put the dynobolt through the multi-purpose bracket and into the slab. Then hammer it down. Tighten the nuts using a spanner or a socket. Repeat these steps again for the final portal frame. Now the frames are in place, bring in the left side panel. You'll need a friend to help lift it. Align the pre-punched holes in the left side panel with the holes in the front panel. Once aligned, secure the panels together using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Use a clamp or a friend to hold the panel to the first portal frame. Make sure that the panel is square on the frame. Use a tape to measure 50mm from the top and bottom of the panel. Make sure that these marks are on the sheeting where the frame is located. From the top marking, measure down and mark every 270mm. This will be for the screws to secure the panel to the frame. Use 7 of the 45mm Tech screws to secure the panel to the frame. Make sure that the screws are going into the portal frame. Once the frame is secured to the sidewall, make sure that the top and bottom channels are butted up flush before continuing. Again, clamping or getting a friend to help, secure the second portal frame to the panel, making sure that it's sitting square. Measure and mark 50mm from the top and bottom of the panel as we did previously. Again measuring down from the top 270mm. Use 7 of the 45mm Tech screws to secure the panel to the frame. Make sure that the screws are going into the portal frame. Once the left panel is secured to the frame, bring in the rear panel now. We recommend having a friend help you hold it. Align the rear panel with the left side panel, making sure that the pre-punched holes are aligned. Fasten the two panels together using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Bring in the right side panel now. This is another 6-meter panel, so you'll need a friend to help. Align the pre-punched holes in the front and the right side panel. Fasten the two panels together using 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Align the rear and right side panels, then secure them with 4 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Use a clamp or a friend to hold the panel to the first portal frame. Make sure that the panel is square on the frame. Mark up the panel as we did with the other side. And secure the panel to the frame using 7 of the 45mm Tech screws. Again, clamping or getting a friend to help, secure the second portal frame to the panel, making sure that it's sitting square. Mark up the panel as we did with the other side, and then secure the panel to the frame using 7 of the 45mm Tech screws. It's time to put the roof on now, so get at least a couple of friends to help you lift the roof panel onto the shed. The lips of the roof will need to go to the outside of the front and rear wall. Fasten the ridge beam to the peak brace using a single 10mm self-tapping screw. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the other end of the ridge beam, then secure it with one 10mm self-tapping screw. You need to make sure that the lip is hard up against the gable panel from the outside before drilling this hole. Place the other roof panel onto the shed, making sure the lips are on the outside. The edge with the 60A channel will need to be the one that goes into the ridge beam. Use a single 10mm self-tapping screw to partly secure the lip to the rear wall. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the outermost hole in the lips on the other side. Partly secure the lip with one 10mm self-tapping screw. On the inside of the shed, we'll need to pull the roof panel into the ridge beam, making sure that the pre-punched holes line up. You may need to wiggle the shed or use pliers to get the panel into the beam. Once the roof panel is in, secure it to the ridge beam using 8 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Drill out the hole in the peak brace and ridge beam, then secure it with another 10mm self-tapping screw. Repeat this at the other end, drilling it out and then securing it with another 10mm self-tapping screw. Once the ridge beam is secured, fasten the roof sheets together using 10 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Fasten the roof to the side wall using 14 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Do this again for the other side panel, fastening the roof to the side panel using 14 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Now that the roof is in place, drill out the holes in the front lips, then secure them to the frame using 11 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Secure the lips to the rear panel using 11 10mm self-tapping screws. Fold the gable cap as shown. Take the gable cap and hook it under the lips, then snap it over the top. Drill out the holes in the top, then secure with 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Repeat these steps to install the gable cap at the other end. On the inside of the shed now, secure both portal frames to the ridge beam using 16 wafer head Tek screws. Find the line of the portal frame underneath the sheeting. Measure in 50mm from the edge of the roof panel. Make 3 more markings along this line, 2 lining up with the screws in the roof panel, and then make 1 at the top. Screw 4 45mm Tek screws into the markings to secure the roof to the portal frame. Make sure the screws are going into the portal frame. Repeat these steps 3 more times to secure the roof to the remaining portal frames. Moving to the front frame now, use 12 of the wafer head Tek screws around the inside of the doorway to secure the jambs to the frame. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill out the 12 holes to attach the doors to the front frame. Take the doors and place them near the opening, making sure that you've got them orientated correctly. Get a friend to help you attach the door. Line the hinges up with the holes we just drilled out. Using a pop riveter, secure the door to the frame using 6 pop rivets. Repeat for the other door, securing it to the frame with 6 more pop rivets. Test the doors open and shut correctly and then adjust if not. Now just close the left door and extend the pad bolt up until it hits the header beam. Mark where it touches and then drill it out. Use a 3mm drill bit to drill a pilot hole. Now switch out to a 10mm drill bit and make the hole bigger. Next, take the 99B hat section and place it in the doorway. Position it so that when the door is shut, the bottom pad bolt strikes the top of the top hat section. Repeating the steps we did at the top, use a marker and then a 3mm drill bit and then a 10mm drill bit to make this hole. Next, we need to make some holes in the top hat section to anchor it to the slab. Measure in 700mm from both ends. Use a 3mm drill bit to make a pilot hole. Now use the 10mm drill bit to make these holes bigger. Mark off these holes into the slab using a marker and then remove the top hat and drill using the 10mm masonry drill bit and a hammer drill. Put the top hat section back down and then fix using 2 M10 dyno bolts as we did before with the portal frames. If you do have a rebated slab, you'll just need to mark where the bottom pad bolt strikes the slab and then drill this out using the masonry drill bit. Now close both double doors and extend the pad bolt on the right door across to the left. Place a hasp over the pad bolt shaft. Make a marking in the top hole, then drill it out with a 3mm drill bit. Place the hasp over this hole and secure it with one of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Now using the hasp as a template, drill out the bottom hole and secure with another 10mm self-tapping screw. Now moving on to the single door, extend the pad bolt and place the hasp over the pad bolt shaft. Drill out both these holes and secure with 2 of the 10mm self-tapping screws. Take your angle brackets and lay them out in the positions as shown, spacing them equally along each wall. Using these brackets as a template, go around and carefully mark where the holes are on the slab and on the wall. Drill 3mm pilot holes in the wall centered on these marks. Now switch out to the 10mm drill bit and drill through these pilot holes. Next, take your hammer drill and insert the 10mm masonry drill bit. Drill down through the marks we made earlier. be sure to go down deep enough for the height of the dynobolt. From the outside of the shed, take the 10mm bolt and poke it inside. You may need a friend to hold it there. Align the angle bracket with the bolt and then tighten the nut by hand. Tighten it further using the shifting spanner. Put the dynobolt through the bracket and into the hole in the slab. Tighten this nut on the dynobolt with the shifting spanner. Now that this has been done at all positions, the structure is anchored. Now the shed is complete, any leftover holes can be finished off with a screw.